Hey guys, so today I'm going to be showing you how to make this mini duck design, which was designed by me. And I know you've probably seen my other duck design on this channel, but I've been thinking for a while it would be really cute to make a mini one, so I finally made one. And if you're wondering the size comparison to my regular duck, here is the regular duck and then here's the mini duck. I think it's significantly smaller. I really like it. So yeah, there's the comparison. It's kind of really hard to show on camera, but in real life, if you get like the big duck and the mini duck, there is like a significant size difference. And yeah, I think they're adorable. I really like them. I always love making my designs smaller though, in case you haven't noticed on this channel, I tend to do that, so yeah. So band wise, I don't know how many bands this take. I forgot to do a band count before I started filming, but if you want to know the band count, it'll be in the description, as well as the pattern and everything else that is usually in the description. Difficulty wise, I think if you've made my other duck, this duck should be fine. It's about the same difficulty, it's just tinier. But yeah. So the last thing I have to say before we get started, I don't have too much to say about this duck design. I feel like it's fairly straightforward. It's adorable. I feel like I don't need to convince you to make it because they're just so cute. But the last thing I need to say, which you may have already noticed, is I got a camera for filming. As you can tell, the quality is a lot better, I think. The other thing I'm gonna have to ask you is to bear with me, because this is my first tutorial I'm filming on this camera, so I don't know how it's gonna go. I already tried filming this tutorial once and then the lighting was just everywhere, but I think I've sorted it out, so hopefully this will go well. But yeah, there might be a bit of a learning curve with this camera, but I'm hoping this tutorial goes well, so just letting you know what is up. But yeah. Also, let me know what you think of the quality and stuff with this camera. I mean, I literally just got it like a week ago, so yeah, let me know what you think. But yeah, that is it pretty much, and I think we are going to get started. So of course you're going to need some bands for this. Today I'm going to be using neon yellow, and then for the beak I'm going to just be using the same like pale, this pale orange color. I couldn't think of the word orange. Also, if you guys would want me to do a review on the pastel bucket that Rainbowloom recently released, I could. I used the pastel bands for this. I didn't feel like doing a— oops, just whacked the camera. Didn't feel like doing a review for it, so I didn't, but if that's something you guys are interested in, let me know. And of course you're going to need a hook. Today I'm going to be using my double-ended hook, but you can use any hook you want. So, get my double-ended hook. And then you're going to need something to mark your rows with. Today I'm going to be using a C-clip, but you can use anything. You could use a paper clip, whatever. You just need something to mark your rows. And yeah, I think that's it. So we are going to get started. I'm just going to pick up some bands. And yeah. Yep. I'm really happy I finally got a camera for this channel though. I've been debating getting a camera probably for a year already, but I was like, what if I stop making tutorials? But the thing is, like, I have like 20 some tutorials I want to make, so I'm like, yeah, that's not happening anytime soon. And yeah, I was always like, am I serious enough about this to want a camera? But I think we've hit the point where I'm pretty serious about making tutorials, as well as there's some tutorials I want to, like, not Rainbowloom related tutorials, but other tutorials I want to make. Okay, so to start, we're going to start by doing a tripled cap band with 4 stitches in it. So we're going to start by wrapping a band 3 times around our hooks. This is 1, 2, and then 3. And then we're going to pull a band through the whole cap band, put both ends back on our hook, and then we're going to push the back loop over the front loop. Then we're going to go back into the cap band, and this time we're just going to pull a band through just the cap band, so not this last loop. We're going to put both ends back on our hook, push the back loop over the front loop, and then push the loop from last time over as well. Like that. And we're going to do that exact same thing we just did 2 more times, so we have 4 loops in the cap band in total. So we'll do the same thing, and I just realized I forgot to explain what I did. So all we're going to do is we're going to go in through the cap band. We're going to pull a band through just the cap band, so not the last loop. Push the back loop over the front loop, and then push the loop from last time over as well. Oopsies. Like that. Hold up, my drawer. I heard it pop open. Oops. And if you don't know, it's because my camera, I have it like wedged. It's like like same setup as with my phone, but now I'm using a camera. So it's still like Tsum Tsum selfie stick and then shoved in my desk drawer. So if my desk drawer pops open, because it can pop open, it means everything falls, just to clear that up. Not like you cared. But yeah. Oh, are we focused? Are we focused? I think we are, okay. So once you have 4 stitches in the cap band, you're just going to want to count to make sure. So we'll start by counting the one on our hook. So 1, 2, 3, and then 4. And then instead of going into the cap band, we're going to go in through this first loop here. And then we're going to pull a band through just the first loop. So we're going to do the same thing basically, but we pull it through just a loop. Then both ends back on our hook, back one over the front one, loop from last time over as well. And then we're going to be putting our C-clip on this band. So that was the first part. So for the next part, we are going to be increasing everything, and if you don't know what that is, basically every single stitch we do is going to be an increase, and if you don't know what an increase is, I'll try to show you right now. And yeah. So all an increase is you basically do 2 stitches per loop. So this stitch already has this loop already has 1 stitch in it, so we're going to go back in, do another stitch, and that'll be an increase. So let me show you again. So we're going to go in through the next loop, we're going to make 1 stitch, we're going to go back in, do another stitch, and that'll be an increase. So we're just going to keep doing that all the way around because we're increasing everything until we get to the C-clip. So we're just doing 2 stitches per loop. Then once you get to the C-clip, you're going to make a stitch on the band that has a C-clip on it, and then you'll just move it up. Like that. See, I don't know why we're getting like dreamy edges on this. There we go. So now if we count around, you should be at 8 loops, so we'll start by counting the one on our hook. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like that. So now we're going to do 1 row normal, and what that basically means is we're just going to do a row around of single stitches. And yeah. And at the end of this row we should still be at 8 loops. So all we're doing is we're basically just doing 1 stitch per loop. There we go. See, why is it like that? There we go. I feel like I just have to focus on the right spot, because when I focus on the right spot it looks correct, but if I focus on the wrong spot it looks like dreamy. I don't know how to explain it. But yeah, we're just gonna go around and we're just doing 1 stitch per loop, so we're just doing single stitches all the way around. I also don't know how long this camera, like how long I could film for in one go, so we're gonna figure that out right now. But this is already going much better than the first time I filmed it, because the first time I filmed it I had this setting on where it was like autofocus and then it would lock onto something, so then if I moved my finger or something it'd be just focusing on my finger moving all over the place, and I'm like, this is not what I want. But I figured out how to turn that off, so now I think we're doing pretty well. But once you get to the one with the C-clip on it, you'll just make a stitch on the one that has a C-clip on it, and then you'll take it off this loop and move it up onto the loop that is on your hook. Like that. And like I said, we should still be at 8 loops, so if we count around we should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like that. Also, always remember, if I go a little fast, you can pause and catch up. You don't have to be keeping up with me. I know even when I loom slow, I loom fast. I've been doing this for so long, I don't think I could go slow. But yeah, so now we are going to decrease everything, and what that basically means is just like when we increase everything, but now we're going to like decrease, so every single stitch we do is going to be a decrease. So let me show you what a decrease is. So all a decrease is you're going to grab the inside part of one loop and the back part of the next loop, and you just make a stitch. And we just do that all the way around. So you grab the inside part of one loop, back part of the next loop, you just make a stitch. And we just keep doing this. So once you get to the one with the C-clip on it, or like, let me focus, oh wait, focused, okay. So once we get to the one that has a C-clip on it, which is this one, this decrease, we're not gonna do it. So we're just gonna do a single stitch on the one before, and then we'll do a single stitch on the one with the C-clip on it, like that. And then we'll just move the C-clip off this band and up onto the one on our hook, and we should be at 5 loops. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if you got confused by what I just did there, basically I just didn't decrease on the one that had the C-clip on it. Okay. So now we're going to increase everything again. So just like the row we did at the start, every single stitch we do is going to be a increase. Also, I don't remember if I counted around. So if I forgot to count around, if not, we're counting around again because I forgot. So it's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you should be at 5 loops. I don't remember if I counted or not. I keep saying today. I don't know why. I'm so unsure. I was about to say again. Oh my god. For the next row, we're going to be increasing everything. Like I said, I'm picking up bands. Yep. Okay. So, all we're going to do, once I focus my camera, is we're going to just increase everything. So you're just basically doing the same thing we did at the start, where we put 2 stitches per loop until we get to the C-clip. At the end of this row, you should have 10. You know, I didn't film it all for the past week because I got back from Europe, so if you didn't see in the community tab I posted, I went on a class trip with with my class from when I went to community college, and we went to Europe for 10 days. It was like a study abroad thing. And I thought the jet lag, like, completely over it now, but I feel like I'm still a little scatterbrained, and I feel like you guys can tell that, even though I'm scatterbrained in most of my tutorials. So maybe you're like, Ginger, you seem the same as usual. I don't know, I feel extra scatterbrained today. But yeah. Anyways, once you get to the C-clip, we're just gonna make a stitch on the one that has a C-clip on it, and we're gonna move it up. So now if you count around, you should be at, oh my, that's so blurry, hold up. Focus camera, okay. You should be at 10 loops, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Like that. So for the next row, we're gonna do something a little bit weird. If you've made my bigger duck design, you know exactly what we're about to do. So we're gonna do 1 row normal, but we're gonna do this weird chain up thing to make the, like, tail this row, and I'll tell you where it is. So we do that on the 4th stitch. If you're confused by it, don't worry, I'm gonna show you in a second. And yeah. I didn't write anything else. Very helpful. Okay, I know what I'm doing. I always just have to double check. Okay. So like I said, on the 4th stitch, we're gonna be doing that weird chain up thing to make the duck butt. So we're basically just going to do 3 single stitches. So this one will be 1, 2, and then 3. So once you've done 3 single stitches, the next loop will be the 4th loop, which is where we're going to do the weird chain up thing to do the butt. So we're going to chain up 2 stitches. So we're going to go 1, and we're going to go up 2, and then we're going to pull a band through just this chain, and we're going to push the back one over the front one, and we're going to pull it tight but not too tight, so just so it holds. And then we're gonna go back in through this first part of the chain, and we're gonna do 2 single stitches. So we're gonna do 1, and we'll go back in another one, do 2, like that, and then we're gonna get this loop, and then we're just gonna push the back one over the front one. And that'll be our first stitch for this top chain. So we're going to go back into this top chain, and we're going to do 3 more stitches. So 1, 2, there we go, 2, 3. And basically what it should look like right now is it should look like you have 2 stitches in this first half. Then you got 4 on this back. We only did 3, but that first one we did to hold it counts as 1. So it's 4. And then now on the second half of this one, we're going to do 2. So 1, 1, 2, like that. And then we're just going to go into the next loop, and we just do a single stitch, like that. So let me focus my camera so you can see what I did. But basically all we did is we put 2 stitches, 4 stitches, and then 2 stitches on this side. And it should be looking something like this. And then the rest of the way, we're just going to be doing single stitches until we get to the end. I feel like that wasn't too bad, so hopefully you're not confused. And I'm picking up bands again. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something and then I forgot. Did it have to do with the Europe trip? Yeah, I'm editing a video because I took some footage when I was in Europe. I didn't take too much. I've also took a lot of loom photos in Europe. And the loom photos thing was funny because a lot of my classmates found out I have a YouTube channel and I was just like, please don't stalk me. I didn't tell them my name, so they don't know about the channel. But they know I have one, and I was like, this is embarrassing. I don't know why I find it embarrassing. Like, I love doing this, but then whenever anyone asks, it's not like anyone, it's specifically when art people ask, because this was for my art class. I should loom and talk. I'm just talking. Oh my god. But we're just doing single stitches the rest of the way in case you forgot. So I'm just doing single stitches until we get to the stick clip. But anytime like art people find out about my channel, I'm always so hesitant with what they're gonna say. And I feel like that's because I've had a couple bad experiences when I tell people I do Rainbowloom and they're like, why do you do this? But when they found out, it was funny because my teacher didn't notice I was taking loom photos everywhere, literally until the last day of the trip, and the only reason he noticed was because I asked him to scoot over so I can get a photo of my toucan with the sunset. And he was like, what on earth are you doing? And I'm like, it's for my Instagram. And then he was like, why? And I'm like, I have people follow me for this. And then he was like, oh, that's cool. So I actually had a good response. I was so scared for like 2 seconds. Okay, so now if we count, we should be at 17. So we'll start by counting this one on our hook. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Like that. So now we're going to do a row of normal stitches around this. So we're just going to do single stitches all the way around. And believe it or not, we're almost done. We're like over halfway done. This is such a quick design, which is also why I decided to do it with my new camera. That way if anything goes wrong, I can just redo this tutorial and it wouldn't be like an hour long. Because the tutorial I originally wanted to do next was carapace, but I know it's going to be long. But yeah, we're just doing single stitches the rest of the way around. Okay. Yep, just single stitches. Oh yeah, but like I was saying with my classmates, I was so hesitant, but everyone in my group was actually really cool about it. And they were just like, oh my god, that's cool. That's so cute that you do that. I love it. And I was like, oh my god, you guys are so nice. Because I have had some bad responses, so I was like not expecting that. But surprisingly, every time I've told like an art person recently that I do Rainbowloom, they're like, wait, you come up with the patterns and everything? And I'm like, yeah, that's what I do. I come up with patterns and then I make tutorials. And I think it's so cool, and I'm so glad I've been getting some positive responses, because every time I've told my family or something, they act like it's some childish thing, and I'm like, ugh. But I really do love doing this. And even, like, I've said it before, like, I love making tutorials for you guys, but half the time when I make a design, it's rarely ever for you guys. Half the time it's like, I really want to make, like, a mini duck. Wouldn't that be adorable? And I just do it. And the fact that you guys just love the stuff I make is always so amazing. I don't know, I've been feeling very appreciative lately of just everything. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm going to college soon. I'm just like, oh my god, with everything. But not like emotional, but I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know, man. I feel like it's also because I got a camera too, because a camera's like a big step for my YouTube channel, I feel. Also, it was a big investment. Like, this camera, I'm not gonna lie, was like 400 bucks. And I already had the money for it since last year. I don't know why it took so long to buy it, but whatever. Anyways, we're gonna move up our C-clip, and then if we count around, we should still be at 17 loops. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. And your duck should be looking something like this. Right now he looks a little bit funky, but don't worry, he gets better. So now we're gonna do a row normal, but we're gonna be decreasing on 2 loops. So we're gonna decrease on the 5th and the 6th. And if you don't know what that means, I will show you. Basically, we're gonna do 4 single stitches, then we do 2 decreases in a row, and then it's single stitches the rest of the way. I just write it like that because I like writing like a loon. And also it is the easiest way to understand for pattern purposes. I don't know why. I'm sorry, I'm so rambly today. I feel like it's because I've been jet lagged, and then I've been editing the video I took in Europe, so I haven't really talked to anybody, so enjoy me rambling. I don't know if I should let the camera go and just see how long it films for. I think I'm gonna stop it and restart it, just because 20 minutes is usually how long I film my other camera, so I'm just gonna do that real quick. Okay. I just, you know, same thing as with my other camera. When it times out, you just gotta do the thing. But yeah, so we're gonna be decreasing on the 5th and the 6th. And I don't know if my camera's focused, so let's focus it. Focus. Let me get it to focus. There we go. So this will be, oop, that's not focused. Sorry, it's taking a second for me to get it to focus. Focus. So this is 1. Next one's gonna be 2, 3, 4. So the next 2 stitches are gonna be the 5th and the 6th. So we're gonna do 2 decreases in a row. So once again, so we just did 1, 2, 3, 4. So the next is the 5th, and then this one will be the 6th. So we're gonna do 2 decreases in a row. So we're gonna grab the inside part of one loop, back part of the next loop, make a stitch. And we're doing 2 in a row, like I said, so the next one's also a decrease, so inside part of one loop, back part of the next loop, and then you just make a stitch. And then the rest of the way will be single stitches. So we're just doing single stitches the rest of the way. I always feel like whenever I say decrease on specific bands, it sounds more complicated than it is. So I hope you weren't confused by that. You know, I really hope the audio is better on this camera. I literally bought this camera because everyone was like, it's easy to use. The audio's good and you don't have to mess with the audio. And I'm like, thank you, because I feel like audio is a whole realm I'm not even ready to get into yet. When I was talking to my dad about improving my audio on my videos, he was like, oh yeah, we could get you a microphone and all this. And I was like, yeah, I don't know how audio works. He was like telling me I can mix my audio, and I was just like, confusion. Like, I don't know how to do that. So I'm glad that this camera, everyone said the audio is good enough that I don't have to, like, get a mic or anything, because I'm like, I don't know if I'm ready for that. Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm picking up bands again. But, yeah. Okay. Oh, we're already at the C-clip. I didn't even notice. So once you get to the one with the C-clip on it, you're just going to make a stitch on the one that has a C-clip on it, and we're going to move it up. Like that. So, now, we are going to be decreasing every third, so... Oh wait, I forgot to count. My brain, I'm sorry. So, after the last row, you should be at 15 loops, so we'll start by counting the one on our hook. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so that's it for that row. So for the next row, we are going to be decreasing every third. So all decreasing every third means is we're going to do 2 single stitches and then a decrease, 2 single stitches and then a decrease, and we just do that all the way around. So the one with the C-clip on it will count as our first single stitch, so we have to do another single stitch. This is 2. And then the next one's going to be a decrease, so we grab the inside part of one loop, back part of the next loop, make a stitch. And then the thing just starts again, so we'll do 2 single stitches, so 1, 2. And then we'll do a decrease, so inside part of one loop, back part of the next loop, make a stitch, and we just keep doing this all the way around. So you just do 2 single stitches, so 1, 2. And then you do a decrease, so inside part of one loop, back part of the next loop, we just make a stitch. We go 1, and then 2, and then the decrease is going to land on the one with a C-clip on it, and we're just going to do it. And I need more bands. I'm literally 1 band short, but I'm just picking up a few. And then we'll just make a stitch. And then we'll move our C-clip up onto the one that's on our hook. So now if you count around, you should be at about 11 loops. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. like that. So right now is a good time to stuff it just because we want to put the stuffing all the way up in the head. You don't have to stuff the butt yet, but it is a good point to start stuffing the head. So I'm going to take my hook out to stuff it just because it gets in the way. And we're just going to shove stuffing all the way up into his head. And usually it does kind of help to push the stuffing up with your hook because sometimes it doesn't want to go. There we go. His head stuffed. And I'll usually put a tiny bit of stuffing in his butt at this point, but I wouldn't stuff his butt fully yet because he's not really... Well, he's close to being closed, but not really at the same time. There we go. Okay. So we're just going to put our hook back in, and if you don't know which way to put your hook back in, the way I do it is you can kind of tell that the loops are going like this, so our hook needs to go in this way. Just in case you don't know. There we go. So, for the next row we are going to be decreasing every other, and what that basically means is we're going to alternate between doing a single stitch and a decrease, and a single stitch and a decrease, and that's pretty much it. And I'm picking up bands again. You know, I feel like whenever I don't film a tutorial in a while, when I finally sit down to film a tutorial, I'm just so peppy, because I get happy doing this, and then I end up so excited. So since this one we did on the C-clip was a decrease, the next one's going to be a single stitch. Like that. Then we're going to do a decrease. Then we do a single stitch. So all we're doing, as you can tell, is we're just alternating between doing a single stitch and a decrease. Do a single stitch, we'll do a decrease, then a single stitch, and then the decrease is going to land with the one on the C-clip on it, but we're just going to do it, and then we'll move our C-clip up. So now if you count around, you should be at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I can't count, 1, 2, 3, so you should be at about 7 loops, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I don't know why my camera's really washed out right now, but you can't really see the loops, well there you can see the loops, but yeah, you get the idea, you should have 7. So right now, you're going to want to add a tiny bit more stuffing if you feel like his butt needs it. I'm going to add a tiny bit more stuffing. Not a lot, just a little. Just because I want him to be stuffed well. Also, sometimes it is hard to add enough stuffing when we do the head stuffing. It's just you have to do it then. And we are almost done. Okay. There we go. I need a little bit more stuffing. I'm just stuffing off camera. You know how to stuff your things, hopefully. There we go. That should be a good amount of stuffing, I think. Okay. So, now all we're going to do is we are going to decrease absolutely everything until it's closed. So every single stitch we do is going to be a decrease. Also, at this point, you could take the C-clip out, so we don't need it. Let's see, focus. Good enough. Yeah, so every single stitch we do is going to be a decrease. And we're just going to do this until it's closed. You know, I think my camera's doing pretty well for this tutorial. The only thing I gotta figure out is why is it so washed out. I don't like how washed out it is. It's just so bright. But it's not too bad. I feel like it's okay for my first try. So once you have the last decrease up on your hook, you're just going to pull a band through everything on your hook, and then push the back one over the front one and pull tight. And then we'll just hide this tail into our duck. We'll just pull it in. Ah. Like that. And then there you go. You should have a duck-like shape. So I'm gonna go grab the stuff for the beak and the eyes. You're just gonna want some orange bands for the beak, and then for the eyes I used beads, but if you don't have beads, you can just get a black band. Wrap it 4 times around your hook. 4 times. And then pull a band through. Pull it. Come on. Okay, struggling. But you would just pull it through. There we go. And you can use that as an eye. But I'm gonna go grab my beads and then some, and then the orange bands for the beak. Okay, so I got my beads. I was actually about to start filming and then the battery was like, we're gonna die, and I was like, oh my god. Luckily I bought multiple camera batteries, so we're good. I just changed out the battery. But once you have your beads, you're gonna wanna get a piece of string. And then you're just gonna put your bead on the string. And this is so hard to do on camera. Can't see what I'm doing. Oh, I got it on. Then you'll put your band on the string as well. And then you just fold over, so you're gonna fold over and go back through the bead. And I can't see on camera, so I'm gonna thread it through off camera so I can see. And then you just slide the bead onto the band. We'll do this again for the other one, and I'm not gonna do it on camera because then it's just so hard to do on camera. You know, I'm impressed by this camera's battery. When I was looking at reviews of this camera, a lot of people were like, oh my god, it has such a short battery life, and I was like, oh, how bad is it gonna be? But I was filming, I'd say I probably got about an hour to like 2 hours of like battery life, and I think that's pretty good. I was expecting it to be like half an hour dead. So that's much better than I thought it was. And for what I'm using this camera for, I think it works. Okay, so you're going to want to get your duck. We're going to set the eyes to the side for now. I like doing the beak first, so you're going to want to get your beak color. And I realized I forgot to pick them up. I like putting bands on my fingers, so I got to do that first. Okay. So what we're gonna do, and there's actually kind of specific ones I like to go into let me put my hand like this so you can see. So I like to go across these 3 stitches right in front. You can see there's one here, and then like one there. Yeah, see, so it's like this one, and then this one. I like to go in between those, so like right there. And then I'll make a stitch on this one. I'll come to the next one. Do the same thing. And then the last one. So we're just going to do 3 stitches across the front. Then we're going to turn, and we're going to do 2 single stitches. So 1, 1, and then 2. And then we're going to go in through this weird part. So this weird part that's not a loop, but kind of looks like a loop. That bit. And then we're just going to pull a band through everything on our hook. Push the back one over the front one, and pull tight. And then you'll have a beak that you kind of usually need to squish a little, but it's not awful. And we'll just hide our tail in. And then there we go. We have a beak. So the very last thing we need to do is tie our eyes in. So you're gonna get your beads or your band on a bead. Your band. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. If you use safety eyes, you don't have to do this. But where I like to put the eyes is, you could see, like right by the beak, right here is where I will tie in my eyes. And we'll just tie it in. And I don't like tucking the eye tails in until I like where both the eyes are, so I'm going to put both the eyes in. And I like to put them here, and then on this stitch that's also like right above the beak. It's just the best spot to put the eyes in. And then we'll pull tight. And then you're going to look at your duck, and if you like where the eyes are, and I do, we'll just tuck the tails in. And I'm tucking them in off camera because I hate tucking them in on camera. It's just hard to do. I'm almost done. And then that's pretty much it for the duck. So, ta-da! Oh, he's so cute. Okay. I was also worried that the shape wasn't going to come out right because these bands are a little stiffer, but he's perfect. But yeah, so that is it for this tutorial. I hope your duck turned out okay. I absolutely love this duck design because once you finish the shape, you literally just attach the face and then it's done. So if you make a duck, definitely share it with me on Instagram. I love seeing when you guys make my things. I know sometimes I don't like them right away, but I really do love seeing when you make things for my tutorials. Also, whenever you make something for my tutorial, right after I post it, I'm always like, I did a good job in the tutorial because their duck came out okay. So if you make one, please share it with me. As always, my Instagram, everything, it's all in the description. My Instagram, my Etsy. I'm going to be doing an Etsy shop update soon. And where'd my child go? I was going to show you something and I don't know where I put him. Well, I'm going to be adding some more cows to my Etsy within the next week, so maybe go follow my Instagram because I'll be posting on there when the things on Etsy are going up. So yeah, I don't know where I set him, but I was going to show him to you. Oh well. Subscribe if you want to see more tutorials from me. I have more tutorials coming. I have plans to make tutorials for a lot of fun designs as well as some summer designs because it's summertime. Hooray. Also, there may or may not be a giveaway coming up soon. I'm plotting. But yeah, so just subscribe to me. Also, let me know what you thought of my new camera. I'm really struggling, but we can only get better from here. So even though this tutorial I think was a little bit more washed out than I would have liked, I'm gonna keep adjusting things. So hopefully they'll be better soon. And this has been a long outro. So I think that is it. I will see you in my next tutorial. Don't forget to share your ducks with me. But that is it for this one. I will see you in the next one. Bye.